Welcome back to another episode of Ruthless TV, where I break down Tyler Perry's The Oval scene by scene. Now let's get into this video. Victoria comes into the kitchen, and this is where we left off last week, and Victoria is pushing for Priscilla to tell her who the bee is that she's referring to. And Richard tries to step in to dumb down the whole situation, but Victoria tells Priscilla that she wants her to leave for good. Then Richard again tries to calm Priscilla's waters, but she said F that, and she went in. She even shocked the First Lady, and the First Lady thinks she's lost her mind. Then Priscilla went on to tell her that her husband told her everything that happened. Then she told Victoria she was not the one to be played with, right? So then we see Richard ever so carefully removing the large that large butcher knife that was right in between the two of them. And Priscilla ripped Victoria a new one, right? And she went on and with the insults, telling First Lady that she treats her children like animals and she's a disgrace to black women. She also told her that out of all the First Ladies that she was actually the worst one, and that the others knew better than to sleep with the help. And my absolute favorite line from Priscilla is when she told her that if the First Lady fired her, that the book that she writes will bring them all to their knees, like how she was desperately on hers. Now, they could have ended the show right there for me. She told her that Richard would be preparing her tea from now on, so she doesn't have to worry about it being poisoned anymore. And I don't know if y'all caught this or not, but First Lady was fighting back her laughter like she could barely hold it in, but I caught it. I was paying attention. She was laughing the entire scene. And Victoria is still trying to fire Priscilla, and then Priscilla pulled the Jean card and asked her where Jean was. She told Victoria to F with her if she wanted to, because she's holding the trump card. Then Priscilla left out, and poor Richard, he didn't know what to say. He told her that he'd grab that tea for her, and she told him to shut up. And that ended scene 1. Then in the next scene, First Lady rejoins Lily to go over some sketches for the dresses. She chose one of the dresses, and right before Lily got ready to walk out, First Lady said that she admired Lily, and I couldn't believe that, and neither could Lily. She actually gave another woman a compliment. Victoria says that they're a lot alike, but Lily was too vulnerable, and Lily feels that women should be vulnerable, and told Victoria she should try it. But Lily didn't stop there. She told Victoria that she doesn't know how to walk in heels, she don't know how to wear a makeup, she carries masculine energy, and doesn't know how to listen. Victoria is getting chumped off tonight, like everybody is letting her have it. Victoria thinks that they would be good friends because they're both unhappy with their husbands. But Lily told her she's not really interested in hearing Victoria talk about herself. And when they walked out, Victoria said that Lily can teach her how to walk in her heels. Then we move on to Donald's office, and we have Killer Kyle here on the phone. He's telling Donald that he can't go through with taking a little kid out. Donald thinks that Kyle is getting soft and reminded him that it's a matter of national security. Kyle took a little nose bump and he said, yes, sir. You know, I'm gonna have to give Donald the name Devil in Disguise, right? Because he's beginning to be a little ruthless. Back in season 1, we barely heard a peep out of Donald, but not anymore. Donald wants to actually sit in Hunter's seat as the president, and now he wants to take little children out. His character has developed into something more sinister than anything. Then right over in the adjoining office, we see Jason coming in to have a little bromance moment with Alan. And we can see right at the beginning that Alan is trying to refrain from going off on Jason again, but Jason is telling him that he tried to hurt Ellie and that his parents are trying to put him away in a camp where they were going to mess with his brain. Then Alan basically told him, look, that's what you need. You really need to be put away. Then initially Alan told him that he didn't know who actually hit him across the head, but then he admitted it. Alan had just gotten fed up right then and there. And Jason couldn't believe that Alan was the one who actually hit him. Then Jason's gonna sit there and deliver the most pitiful line I've ever heard. He said, but we're best friends. Oh my God. Like, Jason didn't say, oh, I thought we were cool, or even I thought we were friends. He declared, but we're best friends. Best friends. Jason has completely lost it. Like, he really needs some help. Alan tells him to head back upstairs, and Jason continued with the threats of telling Alan that he's going to be sorry. Then in walks Donald with the sarcastic investigator tactics, and Jason got up and left. Alan then tells Donald that Jason has serious problems and he knows where all the weapons are and actually tried to get him to kill the president. Donald said that he would let his parents know. Then Alan said he'd be back by 8. I guess he just needed to take his lunch break after dealing with Jason. Then we see Barry stumbling into the room to make a phone call, and he's calling Pookie. His name's gonna be Pookie, okay? Just go with it. He lets him know that he needs to get all his boys together so that they can go to the compound with him to get Callie back. He told him that if he could help him out, that Ruth had 100 stacks on the compound and they could all have it as long as they help him get Callie back first. And you know what? I'm gonna just leave this right where it is. I have absolutely no commentary for this scene. I'm gonna just save it because if I say what I want to say, we'll be here all night. Then as Barry is trying to leave out to go and meet up with Pookie and the boys, he runs into Nancy and she's cleaning in the living room. Of course she wants to know where he's going. He tells her that he's going for a drive, but then Nancy has to tell him that Richard has the car keys because he's trying to stop Barry from actually going back to the compound. He told Nancy that none of this would even be happening if it wasn't for her. He said he's gonna go anyway, and then he left. Then we cut back to Donald when an old friend walks in, and he's a little bit surprised that Donald actually wanted to see him because he knows how jealous Kyle is. Then they went back and forth about how much they love and miss one another. Told you, Donald is the devil in disguise. Donald told him that he needed him to do him a solid and make sure that Dale doesn't exist anymore. Vince asked him if he could see him later after the dirty work had been done, and Donald said that he will meet him at the same room at the Rotondo Hotel. I think that Kyle may eventually turn on Donald because he already got him sniffing coke in the car, right? So he's going to get all in his feelings and probably do something crazy. What do you guys think? Then we cut to Sharon and Kareem entering his apartment, and Sharon's kind of down and out about, everything that has happened, and Kareem offers her some plain, flat, non-exciting vanilla ice cream. No cones, no chocolate syrup, just vanilla ice cream. She tells him that she still loves Barry and she wants to be with him every time she sees him. She said she doesn't think that she's going to actually go back to Barry, but she had to tell Kareem the truth. Then we cut to Hunter's office and we see Donald coming in asking him if he's ready to see Victoria's father. Of course, Hunter is not thrilled at all to be going to see her father, but in walks the new besties and they're coming in with their fake and phony compliments to each other, and then Donald and Lily gives each other a kiss and they say that they're going to see each other later. Here comes the Munchkin Man. Then we see Munchkin, Sam himself, walking Victoria to the motorcade, and they're acting like a parent and a child that's dropping off their kid for the first time when they go to school, because she's like, oh, I thought you were going to come, Daddy. Oh, no, Daddy, I want you to come with me. But he assures her that, they're going to take good care of her. But this was very annoying to me because she's acting as if they're actually dating, like they're a couple or something. Then we see Barry meeting up with his boys and Pookie so that they can head out to the compound. And Barry wanted to know, what he's working with, and he was like, look, we 3 loads deep, so we got you. But Pookie let him know he was a little concerned about them 100 stacks. But Barry lets him know that he has everything under control, but they just have to get Callie out first. Then we move on to Victoria and her father and Hunter. They finally make it to his place, and he's sitting up in the bed and she's coming in acting all reserved and innocent, asking him how he's doing, and he was like, I'm dying. Like, what is he supposed to say, Victoria? He goes on to tell them that he knew that Maud would not be with them long, but he sure as heck didn't know that her own grandson would take her out. He referred to Jason as a cockroach and said that he needed to be killed. He called them both pathetic and said that they would be without protection when he died. He told them that other people who were far more evil than he and Maud wants the Oval. They want those seats, and he says that they're willing to do anything to get it. He said he really don't care anything about the United States, that it's all about that cash flow. And we're getting a whole lot of insight here on Victoria and her family and where he stands. He told them that he's that token Negro that they let on the inside of their inner circles, and he actually gave her up to run the country alongside Hunter. And he told them, he said when he passes away that they're pretty much screwed, like it's a wrap for them, and told them to brace themselves. He knows all about Denise, Jean, Diane, everybody. And Victoria was standing there, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was like, you're not sorry yet. And there's a whole lot that we can talk about just on this conversation alone. Then we cut to Sam and the general, and they're at Blakely's place. And the very first thing that the general wants to talk about is the affair that Sam is having with the first lady. He told the general that he and Priscilla had grown apart and that Priscilla wasn't putting out. He said that he's been beating himself up since it happened. And he was like, well, no, don't beat yourself up. Beat your meat. He told Sam that he was really stupid for the shenanigans and to make things right with Priscilla. Then they switched conversations and he let Sam know that he actually needs him to be on the inside, go to work as usual, and all the evidence that he collects needs to go directly to the general. Then he tells Sam that it's someone that he needs to talk to. And then he tells the guys to come on out. And it's Barnyard, Bobby, and Max. And of course, Sam is acting as if he's seen a ghost because he thought that they were killed in the explosion at the cabin. But nonetheless, Sam is happy to see Max. Then the general gives them all a rundown of everything that has taken place, things that we've already known, right? He talked about the death of Denise and how Kyle tried to pin her death on Max and Yuma. Then he talks about the death of Diane, and then he lets them all know that outside of the White House that they're the only witnesses that are living. He gives them all instructions and cell phones, and then he left. Then we cut back to the motorcade where Hunter is in deep thought about his conversation with her dad. He's not taking any of it seriously, and he doesn't care. Victoria is pretty much thankful for, everything that he's done for them, but Hunter says that the price is pretty expensive to sit in his seat. Then Victoria has to remind him that he was just a horny, drinking frat boy before they entered all of this, and then they started fighting. Then Donald has to get out, walk around, and play Papa Bear to calm the both of them down. Then her father all of a sudden calls and tells Hunter that he needs to chill out. Now, Donald had to call him. He had to, right? Because how else would he know? Then he was encouraging Hunter to answer a phone. He was like, well, this is your private line, sir. You really need to pick that up. I think that Donald is the mole here. Just watch. Just watch what I tell you. Then we have Frida here who needs to get her prescription, and she goes into the pharmacy. And she's chewing Dale out about not knowing squat. But Frida is like me. She feels the same way because I talked about this in the trailer breakdown that I did, that Dale is not the manager. Then she just gets pissed off, and then she leaves, and here comes Vince coming in, flirting with Dale, telling him how cute he is and that he wants to have dinner with him. He pretends that he wants to buy condoms and lube, and as Dale is ringing him up, he shoots him in cold blood. Then here comes Frida coming back in. I guess she decided to take whatever Dale was trying to offer her in the first place, and Dale is on the floor bleeding out, but she can't see him. Like that was really bad. Dale is a good guy. He's innocent in all of this, and I hope that he's going to have a third life here because Max did it, Bobby did it. Everybody who gets shot, they usually survive somehow. So hopefully Dale is okay. He shot him up pretty good though. I think he shot him like four times or so. But we'll just have to wait until next month to figure out what Dale's fate is. Then we get Bobby here asking about the cell phones that the general gave to them, and he wants to do what? Call Lily. And Barnyard wants to know when the last time he talked to her because they had a tail. And once they figured out it wasn't a tail, they got out guns blazing. And it's wild, wild west right in the middle of the DC streets. And Kyle is telling Max to hold his fire if he wants to see his son again. So I'm not sure if he took his son out or not. Maybe he, had a conscience all of a sudden and just didn't do it. Then Bobby is struggling. I don't know if he got hit or not because he just seems like he's having a hard time. But he grabbed his rifle from the back of the car and then he started shooting. But then he told Max that he was going to go ahead and shoot his shot, literally, and then try to go after the president. So after he left, Barnyard and Max got into the bulletproof car and they drove off. But it looks like a couple of people did get hit, but I think it was a couple of people from Kyle's team. It had to be because there were only 3 people riding in their car. Then in the final scene, we see everyone getting out of the motorcade, and before they could actually make it to the door, shots were fired, everyone hit the ground, and that ended the scene. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Ruthless TV. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and I'll see you on the next one.